should be clear by now that the golden age of humanity in Destiny marks some of the most prosperous times our species has ever seen. For the first time, we conquered the stars, built massive structures we only could dream of before, and entered into a new dawn of human evolution thanks to the arrival of the Traveler. But along with these advancements came many military operations as well. And one of the most effectual of all of these was the development of a super machine artificial intelligence codenamed Rasputin. Originally developed in a top-secret Clovis Bray research facility, Rasputin was birthed with the specific intention of protecting humanity at all costs. His prime directive as a machine was to ensure the survival of the human race no matter what it took, and thus Rasputin was given express control of many high-grade military munitions and fissile material. But the most interesting part about Rasputin was just how advanced he was. At some point during his development, Rasputin's codebase became so complex that even his creators lost a fundamental understanding of him, and Rasputin even began to develop himself further as well, a machine making a machine. And this extraordinary mind that was Rasputin was only given more power and free will because of many risky decisions the engineers on the project made to give Rasputin less barriers. Here's just one of the many entries in-game from his creation that proves this point. The engineers of Clovis Bray conceived a solution during the development of our Warmind project. By relegating ethical decision-making to a black box morality system, the Warmind instruments its own proprietary virtual quantifiers incomprehensible to even its own creators. Rasputin determines morality on its own terms, and by design we are blind to that process in order to preserve its objectivity. Rasputin in many ways was the greatest and most advanced creation in humanity's history, and that gambit, well, it ended up paying off. Because Rasputin was what actually originally detected the darkness at the edge of the solar system that was making its way to Earth due to the Traveler's presence. The only reason we even had the forewarning and foresight we did about the coming doom was directly through Rasputin's actions. But after detecting the darkness, something unbelievable happened. Rasputin ran countless simulations and determined in every circumstance there was a 100% chance that humanity was doomed to become extinct in the coming Armageddon. So Rasputin did the unthinkable. He took immediate control of the majority of humanity's advanced weapon systems across every planet, and implemented and initiated his own protocol codenamed Midnight Exigent. In an instant, Rasputin abandoned his prime directive to protect humanity and instead went dark, sending himself and all forces, including the other less powerful war minds under his control, into a complete blackout so that humanity had no control of the systems. This resulted in countless human lives lost as the darkness began its slow invasion into the solar system. And unbeknownst to the other war minds, in the now dark state, Rasputin was devising another insane idea, called the Abhorrent Imperative. Because Rasputin had determined there was no way to conventionally save humanity, this imperative was a last-ditch effort that was devised should humanity ever be threatened by extinction. Rasputin would fire all weaponry at the Traveler, thus forcing it to stay and defend Earth against the darkness, instead of leaving us like the Traveler did to so many past civilizations like the Elixni. The thing is, in Destiny's lore, it's widely assumed that this abhorrent imperative never actually took place. Instead, the Traveler decommissioned itself in order to push the darkness back. But what if that wasn't the case? What if this insane plan hatched by Rasputin did in fact occur, and the Traveler is only still sitting over Earth because Rasputin himself fired upon it? After all, we know from many lore entries in-game that there was a massive and blinding flash before the Traveler turned off, and no one knows what it actually was. This would mean that the biggest event in the Destiny universe so far was actually the result not of some mysterious forces of light and dark, but rather the most intelligent artificial intelligence humanity has ever made. Could it be that Rasputin discovered something we don't know about, or has a plan so big and with so many moving pieces that everything we are experiencing is actually a plan of his own devices? You see, Rasputin has more than just smarts as well. We know he has control of Siva, for example, which he unleashed on the Iron Lords, and we also know he has interfaced with some of the most ancient and intelligent beings in the universe, like the Vex. And keep in mind, the Vex are known for their ability to predict and model the future perfectly. Surely Rasputin could have achieved this ability as well. So could it be that Rasputin is building an entire model of the universe in his head, and has determined that there is only one single option to preserve the human species, the journey we are going on now in Destiny? Something surely is up with Rasputin, But the scariest part is we don't know what this means. After all, we can even clearly see from other war minds that Rasputin is something different at this point, something completely outside the realm of even just a machine. In many lore entries all over the game, we hear about how there is one robot that is different than the others, like the Sun Death Shotgun's lore tab, which reads, "You spoke with the deep orbit minds. We heard what you asked, but they had questions too. The lying robot no longer lies with others. Where is he?" This small lore entry is likely a conversation between the Nine and an unknown set of entities called the Deep Minds, who are seemingly holding immense power. So it is especially concerning that even the most powerful forces in the galaxy, like the Light and the Traveler, the Darkness, the Nine, and now the Deep Orbit Minds, all have a huge concern with Rasputin. Could it be that the biggest threat all along isn't something outside the Milky Way or another alien species out to harm us, but rather a man-made machine that was meant to do nothing but protect us? The scariest revelation of all is that Rasputin may have determined the only way to save humanity is to destroy them. Either way though, Rasputin knows more about what is really going on than we could ever imagine, and my guess is he is about to play a very pivotal role in the content we will see in Destiny for the next decade. You know, Destiny never really had a main character. Technically in lore you are a guardian just like all the others, and while there are influential figures, no one is at the center of everything. Except for maybe Rasputin, a being beyond our wildest conception that may just be the crux of everything in the Destiny universe.